Good education is the strength of any developed or developing society, yet it is one sector that has been grossly ignored in our country today. What exactly did we stop doing that brought us to this level? And can we ever take it back to what it was and even do better? Welcome to Insights. I'm Pastor Messi, your host. Today I have, special guests in the house, seasoned educationists. We're going to be examining these questions and even more. Meet my guests after this break. Welcome back. This is Insights. And my guests today are Pamela Umebuani. She is a consultant, an educationist. She also runs a spa and a gym at the Lagos Country Club, Lagos, Nigeria. And Mrs. Maggi Ibru, Dr. Mrs. Maggi Ibru. She is the proprietress of S.T.T. Regent Schools, GRA, Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. Great to have you on Insights.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it seems to me like we've lost consciousness of what real education is and the purpose for education, in our country. But before we get into that, I'd like us to redefine, or rather define, education. How would you define education? Let me start with you, Pamela.
Education is passing on of knowledge, skills, values from one generation to another. It starts from birth up till the day we die, actually, till we're buried, because you have formal and you have informal education. Okay. So the education that you pay a school and they learn in the classrooms, the math, the 3 R's used to call it in those days, and all the subjects. And then the informal education, which is what we learn at home and learn all around us. By a teacher is not just in the classroom, our teachers are our parents. Our parents are our first teachers. So education is preparing us for life and coping with...
Education is preparing us for life.
Yes.
Dr. Maggi?
Yes, it's very well said. She's properly defined what education is. But now both informal and formal, they have merged. Now we ask ourselves, how should we look at education? Should we go for formal, or should we concentrate on informal education, knowing that we have homeschooling these days and it's gaining grounds? So how do we look at it? Should all parents now become educators? Of course, they are of a sort. We need to redefine it in that aspect of the generation in which we are grooming these days.
Okay, considering the kind of educational system we run today, does it fall within your definition?
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. Nigeria, since the Biafran War, maybe we stopped growing. We tried to recoup what we lost during the war. And while we were at it, many things happened to our nation. I really would think that our problem started post-war, post the Biafran War. But even at that, it has also helped the nation to develop a lot of private institutions that are helping children and helping the growth of a nation.
So must one go through, or rather must the child go through the nursery, the primary, secondary, tertiary institutions to be termed educated?
No. The thing is that the world is changing, including Nigeria. And I think when we discovered oil, we fast-tracked everything and our value systems changed. The government doesn't put a premium on education. So in those days, our children, wherever they went in the world, maybe they had this up to secondary education here and they went abroad for tertiary education, they were considered some of the best educated people, and they gave their classmates a run for their money, got good scholarships, then there were federal government scholarships for, good, high achievers. And anywhere they were, they could stand their ground. But I think we've lost focus. And I don't know, it's, I always say that education, the child starts being educated and learning, acquiring language right from birth. And up to 2.5, the child can actually, if he or she is exposed to language, they can pick up 2-3 languages. It depends on how much, where they are. They're like sponges, and they're exposed. So yes, everybody should go to we now call them creches, daycares, all sorts, because of the busy lifestyle. So everybody is now looking for somewhere to put their child earlier. Whereas before there were aunties, there were grandmoms coming to do extended, what we call omugo. And so they taught, they were there to support the parents in bringing up their children, but that's fast disappearing, yes. So yes, it's important, but I think what we've lost here is a basic. In most parts of the world, it is illegal to take your children out of school before they're 16, but here it isn't. Nigeria, anything goes to a certain, maybe, I'm not sure, I'm sorry, maybe there are laws, but we're not enforcing them, and a lot of children are out selling in the go-slow, and they should be in school, you know, and then there are schools and there are schools, there are government schools, and people who are in government can afford to send their children to private schools, so we're kind of ignoring, you know, our government-owned schools. You know, they're not, they haven't kept up pace with the fast-moving world, and the facilities leave a lot to be desired. That's my personal opinion.
So like I said, you know, it's like as a nation, we've lost consciousness of what education really is and the purpose of education. What is the purpose of education?
I would get back to talking about the creche and playgroup. I think the children, they don't have their childhood has been stolen from them, actually. I believe that a child should have been in school before the age of 5, believe me. I think, like what Mrs. Umebuani said, the language can be picked up from home. A child can pick up 2 or 3 languages at home. You know, when we were growing up, we used to have house girls who spoke Efik, the ones that spoke Igbo, and we picked up both languages, and we still spoke English. Even Pidgin English was quite popular in those days. But now your child is in school at the age of from 3 months because of a lifestyle. And they lose out on so many things. And believe me, you ask yourself, who are the trainers of these children? Do you want your child to be like me? I'd rather my child behaves like me, not like you. And that is the time that we need that tender age before the age of 5 to groom a child. You know, if you watch a child up to the age of 5, you can say precisely what that child will be in the future.
Absolutely.
So most parents lose out on that. But what we try to do in Nigerian school these days is to try as much as we can to bring motherhood into the preschool.